Hello, my name is Kyra Jaffa, and the project I did was what paint medium has the fastest flow rate. Paint pouring is a popular technique right now, and thinning the paint is important for it to flow quickly and evenly. I enjoy using this technique, and I wanted to know how to make my projects have a fast, even pour. My hypothesis was that the acrylic flow improver, Liquid X, will have the best flow rate because it is the most used in paint pouring, and it gives the fastest pour speed from my research. The materials I used were Dawn dish soap, GAC 100, Mod Podge Glossy, Liquid X Flowade, PVA Elmer's Glue, red Solo cups, 20 popsicle sticks, Arteza acrylic paint, canvases, a plastic tablecloth, some newspaper, a ruler, a marker, and a timer and a wedge. My procedure was, I first prepared the outside work area. I then covered the floor with a tablecloth and some newspaper. I then placed the canvas on top of the tablecloth. Afterward, I drew a circle with a 10-inch diameter on the canvas with a marker, and in the middle of the circle, I made a dot so I knew exactly where the center was. I then filled a plastic cup with 2 tablespoons of paint and 6 tablespoons of paint medium. I then stirred the mixture 10 times. Afterward, I put the canvas on top of the cup so that it was in the center of the canvas and it was holding it securely so I could flip it over. The suction would keep the paint in place until after I pulled it off. I then pulled off the cup of paint and started the timer and put the canvas up on a wedge 2 inches from the ground. After, I would let the mixture flow all over the canvas, and when it passes the edge of the circle, I would stop the timer. All the runoff would be collected by the newspaper and allowed to dry. I repeated these steps 3 to 7 times for a total of 5 trials. I then would repeat all the steps for all of the other mediums. For each medium I took the average time and calculated the flow rate by volume. The mediums that were tested in the acrylic paint were Dawn dish soap, GAC 100, Mod Podge Glossy, Liquid X Flowade, and PVA Elmer's Glue. I tested to see which paint medium had the fastest flow rate. I figured out all of this by testing 5 different mediums and doing 5 trials with each medium. Let's look at the graphs. The GAC 100 ranged from 39.15 seconds to 51.61 seconds. The Dawn dish soap ranged from 25.13 seconds to 32.36 seconds. The Mod Podge ranged from 67.94 seconds to 87.73 seconds. The Liquid X ranged from 35.13 seconds to 43.84 seconds. And lastly, Elmer's Glue ranged from 517.28 seconds to 614.09 seconds. Every graph for each trial. Then afterward, I averaged out all the trials from each medium brand. I then graphed the averages. The averages for each medium brand were 38.8 seconds for Liquid X, 74.7 seconds for Mod Podge, 583 seconds for Elmer's Glue, 29 seconds for Dawn dish soap, and 46.4 seconds for GAC 100. My findings agreed with the research, but they did not agree with my hypothesis. I found out that Dawn dish soap has the fastest flow time with an average of 30 seconds. Although the Dawn dish soap had the fastest flow rate of 0.28 tablespoons per second, it had the worst outcome because the paint did not end up drying correctly. It had bubbles in it. So I personally would not recommend using it in projects due to the outcome, but I would recommend the GAC 100. The GAC 100 and Mod Podge had similar flow rate speeds of 0.17 tablespoons per second and 0.11 tablespoons per second, respectively. The Liquid X was 0.21 tablespoons per second, which was not a surprise to me because when I read the ingredients on the bottles, They were practically the same chemicals used to make it. The medium with the slowest flow rate was the glue at 0.01 tablespoons per second. This majorly affected my graphs because the glue took anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, while the rest of the mediums were under 40 to 50 seconds. In conclusion, my data showed that my hypothesis was not correct. My hypothesis is not correct because I expected the acrylic flow improver Liquid-X would be the best because it is the most used in paint pouring and it gives the fastest pour speed. I was proven wrong because my data shows that the Dawn dish soap flows much faster because it is a thinner liquid. I found out that the glue flows the slowest because the glue is thicker and is not as thin as the other liquids. Even though the articles I read said the glue is the fastest. Overall, Dawn dish soap has the fastest flow rate. However, it does not dry without bubbling on the canvas. I believe my studies could have gone a lot better. I believe the study would have been better if I tried with more types of paints and explored different ratios of paints to mediums. That way, maybe the glue would flow better and the dish soap would dry better. Another recommendation is to use different paint brands to see if different paints affect the mediums differently in their flow rate. Getting a fast pour without being very runny is difficult to achieve. One of the limitations was that to have a control of just acrylic paint doesn't work because it just splats on the canvas and does not move. Viscosity has many real-life applications, like understanding lubrication in motors in manufacturing to introducing medicines and IVs. This research may be very helpful to artists because they could save more money by purchasing one type of medium instead of multiple types. When artists want to do paint pouring but they don't know what medium to use, they could look into the research. Also, paint mediums can do many other things. So if they just bought one medium, they could use it for multiple projects and still be on a budget. Thank you.